fighting. Background of fighting and fighting. I fight in the street. I fight wherever I got to fight. I fight to survive out here sometimes, but no, I boxed back in the day. I wrestled in high school up in Michigan, but I didn't really get to compete because of grades and things like that. But I was at practice every day, and I did some jiu-jitsu since I was young in the gi and stuff. And then just fighting in the street, man, just trying to fight people. I used to do backyard MMA fights after school.
How old were you then?
15, 14.
Okay, so you knew right away that you wanted to be a fighter in some, whether it was boxing or MMA. Right away, you were like, "Yeah, this fits for me."
Yeah, I picked it. Nobody else picked it for me. It was my choice.
Hey, Mike, when you talk about being a background as a boxer, it makes me think. So we got this major talk going on: Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather. Can that be a contest? Is there any way that Conor, a guy who has never done professional boxing, can compete with a guy who's never lost at professional boxing?
Man, I don't know, because Conor has done things differently or his way or whatever, or maybe he was ready for everything that came his way. Maybe it was his time and he was ready for that. I'm trying to get ready for real big things to come my way, You think a level of bigness or greatness, and then when you see it, you're like, oh, man, I got here really fast. I thought this was going to take me a lot longer, and this came really easily. So then you got to go above and beyond that. Like your boy was saying earlier, my first fight, that was huge. I've had people tell me that's going to be tough to top. But then Danny Roberts came along, and I put on a battle with that guy. So, to me, in this sport, that's what tops that is performances. But in that ring, at that distance, at that, Floyd's ring is a little bigger than everybody else's because he uses that ring and he moves so well. And I go with a lot of high-level boxers. Some days I have real good days with them. Some days their ring control and their footwork is like, man, where am I today? You know what I mean? I can't keep up. So I don't know. Floyd has been uncontested when it comes to that footwork and those things. So who knows?
Hey, Mike. So your career is going real fast in the UFC, and like I said, it was only a year ago you were fighting, on the way lower shows. How much change? What's the biggest change in your life right now? What's the biggest difference than from a year ago when you're fighting for not UFC?
I'm really comfortable. I'd have to say that's the biggest change is that I don't know. I'm learning to love this stuff again. You know what I mean? Like even Muhammad Ali is like I hated every minute of training, and for a while I was like, is that how it's supposed to be? Am I supposed to hate this stuff? And I did hate this stuff, but then I love performing and love putting on a show because it's a privilege to be able to go out there and do that. I work hard to be able to go out there and do that and not get made a fool of by this other world-class competitor that's standing across from me. I have to train hard, so being comfortable now with having money to survive and live and take care of the things that I need to take care of have really made it more fun to train and be all I can be, you know what I'm saying?
Mike, I was checking out some of your fights, and I asked you this question, and you said it was more than once. You fought somebody, and the contract was winner take all.
Yeah, that was more than one time. Because I was promoting these non-UFC fights, these other organizations, and there's tons of them all over professional organizations. And they're struggling, and I guess I did well advertising or whatever, marketing. We sold some tickets. We sold some fights. People wanted to see me fight, and I was like, man, this is not enough money. This just isn't enough for what I'm working my ass off for. So that's when I started hating training. But then, somebody might have actually suggested it to me once. he's like, put your money where your mouth is. And I was like, absolutely, let's do it, winner take all. And I tagged the promoter, let's do a new contract. That turned out to be for like $2,600 between his money and mine, his show and my show and win. I won. We didn't fight till like 1 a.m. That was like my third MMA fight, third pro MMA fight. And then there was another one. Me and this guy did it for like $5,000 winner take all. A couple fights after that.
Yeah, that's big money in the lower shows. I mean, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I know the guys out here struggling, and they do the same thing. You know, they work full-time jobs. They fight their ass off. They do the same thing that Chael does, same practice, everything. You know, and they're fighting for $5 and $5 or $1,000. So that's, I mean, but at least there's an opportunity. You know, before, 10 years ago, there wasn't even an opportunity for that. Now, did you move from Flint, Michigan, to work at the UFC gym, and is that where you train at, or how did you end up out in? Is it Orlando?
Yeah. Well. I was born in Flint, and since like the second grade, I've come back and forth between my mom and dad, between Flint and Orlando or Apopka. And then once my pops moved out of Flint when I was like 17 or something, that was the last time I've been back in Flint, when I was 17. So I'm 25 now. So it's been a long time since I've been back there, and I've been in Florida for a while, and I found a job at the UFC gym 3 years ago and never looked back.
All right, so you're still working full time at the UFC gym, and that's where you train out of?
Yeah, I train there, I teach there, and then guys that I train with would be, I train at American Top Team in Orlando with Paul Rodriguez and Julian Williams. Julian Williams has a sister school to Top Team, which is called Fusion XL, and that's in Winter Garden. I get a lot of my work done with those guys over there doing jiu-jitsu and boxing, kickboxing. And then I have a boxing coach at the UFC gym that I work with. His name is Josue. And then my strength and conditioning coach, sometimes I go to his garage, or we ride our bike 60 miles around Apopka. His name is Mark Nicholson. That's Alex Spartan Nicholson's father. I do strength and conditioning. I got a squad of guys that I work out with, you know what I mean? So I do everything everywhere.
All right, my last question, brother. I lived in Orlando for a year. Do you eat any alligator?
Do I eat alligator?
Yeah, because I remember going to a bar, a lot of different bars, and they had alligator. One time I ate it.
Hell yeah.
You do? That's good. It tastes like bad chicken.
I'd say it tastes like good chicken.
That's a real thing, fellas?
That's good stuff.
I didn't know anybody ate alligator.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Everywhere you go.
Gator tail. We eat the gator tail.
Hey.
I've seen some things on Facebook videos where they got them on a rotisserie. They might eat the whole gator.
I thought that was an expression like buffalo, like a buffalo wing. I didn't know that was actually gator.
No, and you want to talk about, so Orlando's a nice, cool town. Nice, cool, modern, hip. You go 25, 30 miles outside of Orlando, and you are in the country. Is that a good analogy, Mike?
Yeah, pretty much. It can be that way. There's a lot of rednecks out here.
Mike.
Country folk.
Mike, we know you're busy training, man. Thank you for your time. Best of luck in your career. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, God bless you guys, man. Have a great one.
Appreciate you, pal. Hey, the one thing about Mike, he seems like a real guy. Kind of seems like just what you see is what you get there. I think from a marketing standpoint, that's the only way to go. Just go out there and be yourself. Turn it up. You have something to say it. It's very irritating to see guys, particularly the guys that want to be loved by everybody, that put on a fake nice guy hat. It's like, man, just be yourself, and then I'll let you know if you're a nice guy. I'll let you know if I like you. But even if I don't, that's okay too. But let me know you. Don't come on and put on any act for me. And I feel like he's just a guy that's real.
You make a good point about that, and I think maybe that's why I caught his attention right away.
He caught your attention?
Whatever, But
I mean,
whatever.
that's why you liked him?
That's why I liked him, is because he was who, I mean, he's a tough kid, and he likes to fight, and his personality is his personality. But, at the end of the day, he's just a regular guy.
Yeah, I see that same thing. I enjoy that too. I mean, I can't deny any of that. He is fighting your boy, though. I mean, you're pretty tight with Ellenberger. He's fighting your boy. That's coming up. And that's got to be a weird spot for you to have Perry on the show. I noticed we didn't ask him about Jake. I wasn't totally comfortable doing it, but I noticed you didn't do it too. That had to put you in a bit of a weird spot.
100%. And that's the first time in this that I got any skin in the game, other than you. We're not going to have your opponent on. But yeah, Jake's a a friend, a fan of the show. And I thought about that, and I'm like, well, I like this Perry guy, but I ain't rooting for him against Jake. But that doesn't change the fact that I can root for him on his next fight.
It doesn't take anything away. It's one of the things of the sport. I mean, it doesn't make you a bad guy to say, hey, it is what it is. You're a fan. But I think I get your point. I think I do see the appeal to Mike Perry. I mean, he's a great fighter. Is he a great fighter? Sure, he's a great fighter. He's signed. Yeah, of course he's a great fighter. But he does seem like a guy that comes on and just kind of tells you whatever's on his mind, and there's something fun about that. You guys really eat alligator? I really did not know that.
I ate one alligator one time.
And you did not like it?
No, I did not like it. But the place that I ate it at, they could have went and got the alligator in the back. I mean, there was a swamp in the back, and it wasn't the nicest place in the world.
I would try alligator. That doesn't gross me out in the least. That doesn't seem like I just didn't know that people did that. I didn't know they had a bunch of meat on them. I didn't know anything about that till you guys said it.